welcome back to Showjumping Unplugged. It's another Del Marvelous episode. We're here at a red-hot summer in Del Mar, California, where the surf meets the turf. And I'm here with the gentleman that you've met once before. This is Martin Collins. Hi, welcome.
Yeah, how are you? Okay?
Wonderful. We first spoke with Martin at the Royal Windsor Horse Show in London when we were there. Anyway, he is the gentleman responsible for bringing you this wonderful footing here on the racetrack in Del Mar, California. I think in England they call it surface, right?
Yeah. So
checking out this surface at the opening week of the Del Mar race meet, but also I heard that they broke 3 track records on this surface opening day.
Yeah, on the first day there was 3 track records, which was good because, you know, last year it was slow but very, very, very safe. I mean, this is the safest racetrack in the whole of the USA.
Oh, Martin, please tell me, I've got to know, how did this all begin?
Oh, God. You know, how many hours have you got? It could take days to tell the story. Well, I mean, basically because I did show jumping at a high level. In those days, all we had was wood shavings, and or sand. And really, the sand it just froze in the winter, went like glass. And it was probably the better surface to jump off, but the wood chips they slide, so you know, combinations, it was deadly. Horses just lose their confidence on it. So I started messing about trying to find something to add to the sand, and eventually came up with these telephone wires where they take the copper out and you're left with little granules.
Oh, wow.
And I put 2 inches of that into 6 inches of sand, let the horses work it in on the top, and it stopped it freezing.
Wow.
And it gave it a lot of energy as well.
Wow.
So then I sort of thought to myself, right, if I could take this and tighten it up, and it would still have the same effect as not freezing, you know, we might have something where you can gallop from one point to another as safe as possible. So I started messing around with things like latex, bitumen emulsions and gilsonite and UV light protectors. We were blending all these in and came up with a product called Pacemaker, which was, you know, it's a great product, but bitumen unfortunately gets broken down with the UV light. So, you know, in some place it would work, another place it wouldn't. You know, we did a lot of work for Kerry Packer in Australia with it, with his polo ponies and that. But so then I was still looking for raw materials and came up with this material called jelly cable, which we add into the sand, and it's already got like a pre-coating in it of wax. And we then realised after about 3 years it dried out. So then we started bringing in wax into it and then adding fibres and more different rubbers and plastics and elasticated fibres. And we're adding wax to it. But, you know, there's waxes and waxes out there, and they're all very, very different. It's like a minefield.
Wow.
And unless you know what you're doing, you can make a complete mess of the whole thing. A lot of people in America have tried copying, and they just haven't got it right. And it's been complete disasters. And they're very expensive disasters. So, you know, if you're thinking of going to something like this, which is a real benefit, and you'll benefit enormously with your horses, keeping them sound and everything, you know, go with someone who knows what they're talking about, because there's a lot of just people, copycats out there. We've been doing this, I've been the innovator for 25 years now, and nobody in 25 years has brought anything different to the table. It's just all they're doing is trying to copy what I'm doing. So, you know, be aware out there, keep your eyes and ears open.
Yeah, fantastic. Okay, so I have to ask, of all the tracks in the world that you have done the surface for, and I know there are quite a few, is there a special favorite for you?
Well, yeah, I'd have to say so. I mean, you know, I never thought I'd be standing here today at Del Mar, you know, a few years back. I never thought that would have been possible. Never even occurred to me. But when I got asked by Keeneland to come out to look at their track in Kentucky, and I know the day that we, you know, the first day's racing there was got me by the throat a little bit, you know. And,
I bet.
You know, even the big old strong boys sometimes cry. But yeah, that had a real meaning to it. That was a fantastic day. You know, cutting the ribbon with the board members and Nick Nicholson and Rogers Beasley. It was great. It was fantastic. So yeah, that's a special one in my mind. I mean, you know, you've got to say as well, you know, Del Mar here, you know, it's a major league racetrack, major league racetrack, and it's a fantastic sight. I mean, where could you go and see something like this?
Yes.
It is a beautiful sight. Yeah.
Absolutely. Not to mention the beautiful weather. And he misses the rain. Imagine that.
Yeah, I do actually. I'm Martin Collins, and welcome to Del Mar.